This is Top 30. Hi there, welcome to the show. I'm Kristen Smith. We have 30 stories in 30 minutes. Coming up, you filed your taxes. We'll tell you how to find out when your refund is coming. Your allergies may be worse than usual this season, but there's a way to find relief. And a new trend in baby names may be the craziest one yet. Now let's get started with an important food warning. Two major products, eggs and romaine lettuce, have been linked to recent food safety warnings. On Friday, the Indiana-based Roseacre Farms voluntarily recalled more than 200 million eggs due to potential salmonella contamination at one of their farms in North Carolina. According to the FDA, at least 22 illnesses have been reported so far. The eggs were distributed to stores and restaurants in 9 states and sold under various brand names. According to the Mayo Clinic, salmonella is a serious and sometimes fatal infection that affects the intestinal tract. Common symptoms include nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. And the CDC announced that chopped and bagged romaine lettuce is the cause of the recent E. coli outbreak. No common distributor has been identified, but the affected lettuce originated from the Yuma, Arizona region. The outbreak began in mid-March, and 35 people from 11 states have gotten sick. For now, the CDC advises consumers to throw away any store-bought chopped romaine lettuce from the Yuma region, including any salad mixes that may contain romaine. Now let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with Nicole Petalides. Nicole, you never know when a sudden pizza craving is going to come on, and now Domino's is making it even easier to get a slice?
That's right, Kristen. Domino's has new technology that will let customers get orders delivered to places that don't have traditional street addresses. We're talking parks and famous landmarks. The pizza chain is able to do this by allowing hungry patrons to choose from a network of predetermined hotspots it created. Apple is warning employees to stop leaking information on future plans and products. The company says it found 29 leakers last year and arrested 12. The crackdown is part of broader attempts by tech companies to track and limit what information their employees share publicly. A recent verdict worth $117 million against Johnson & Johnson and a supplier could allow for thousands of more cases claiming baby powder causes cancer.
What type of cancer are we talking about here?
The case in question involves a form of cancer the jury found to be linked to asbestos. Johnson & Johnson has separately been battling thousands of other cases claiming its baby powder and other products cause ovarian cancer.
Definitely shocking stuff. We'll keep our eye on that story. Thanks, Nicole. Well, one of the biggest unions in Hollywood has announced new guidelines to fight sexual harassment. The Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, or SAG-AFTRA, represents about 160,000 actors and other performers. Union leadership is calling for an end to private meetings in hotel rooms and homes. The union calls them high-risk locations. In case there's no other venue for a meeting, actors are being told to show up with a support peer to make sure they're not alone. Performers and producers have held meetings in private hotels and homes for decades, often to audition or discuss future work. But the practice has come under more scrutiny in the wake of the Me Too movement. It began when several actresses accused producer Harvey Weinstein of abuse and assault. Many of the alleged incidents took place in hotels. SAG-AFTRA President Gabrielle Carteris says, "We are committed to addressing the scenario that has allowed predators to exploit performers behind closed doors under the guise of a professional meeting." The union says they receive an average of 5 reports of harassment every single day. Let's go to Danielle Knox now from Fox 35 Orlando. She has what you need to know today. Danielle, I hear a certain candy is flying off the shelves.
Well, Kristen, I tell you what, people are going crazy trying to get Necco wafers, the colorful, chalky candy that you either love or you hate. It's getting a lot of love, though, now that the company could go out of business. The news has sparked a buying frenzy called panic buying, with folks buying them by the dozen. In fact, one woman even trying to trade in her 2003 Honda Accord for them. But ironically, now sales of Necco are up 50%. Well, what matters more, a mate or money? Nearly 8 in 10 people surveyed by the company Personal Capital say finding love is more important than being wealthy. But beware, don't look at your partner's phone or computer when you do find love, because 6 in 10 surveyed would rather share money than their browser history. And are moms lying when they say, I love all my kids the same? Well, a new survey finds that moms do have a favorite child. Researchers asked 1,000 moms, and more than half say their youngest is their fave. Apparently, most say older children are, quote, more tricky or demanding. And that's what you need to know. But Kristen, I'm sure that we both love all our kids the same, right? Back to you.
You're absolutely right. No favorites here. Thanks, Danielle. Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back. There was a time when Meghan Markle was an actress renting a 2-story house in Toronto where her show Suits films. Now the actress is engaged to Prince Harry. So with her elevated publicity, the couple that owned the house put it up for sale and sold it for more than $200,000 over the asking price. Nestled in Toronto's Seton Village, the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home sold for $1.6 million. The house is often featured in Markle's Instagram photos, but all of her social media was deleted once she got engaged to the prince, leaving fans curious for more. The home was said to field numerous offers and had more than 150 people show up to their open house. Some people reportedly waited more than 20 minutes just to get inside the home that once housed a future princess. Well, spring is here, and that means so is allergy season. Many experts say the season is going to be especially bad, and I hate to hear that, but thank goodness Dr. Jorge Rodriguez is here to talk about it. I always wonder what determines allergy season being good or bad?
Well, what determines allergy season is basically the weather of that winter. And as you know, parts of the United States are still in winter right now as we speak. So that means snow, and snow is water, and water means that come April and May, there's really going to be a pollen bomb when all of these flowers and ragweeds just explode.
Yeah.
So
it's beautiful though. Beautiful, but pollen bomb.
Right, it's beautiful.
Not good.
No, but in a month you might not be able to see it through watery eyes, scratchy nose, cough. Those are the signs that most people have of allergies. And a lot of people want to know, what do you do to try to prevent allergies? Well,
yes, please tell us.
Well, once you have it, you can't really prevent it, but there's some things you can do to make it less bad. And one of them is, remember that when you go outside, that's when you get the pollen. So try to close your windows and your doors. If you have air conditioning, turn that on. Okay. If you go outside, change your clothes, wash your hands. And you know those furry friends that we love so much? Every time they go outside, they come back in with pollen on their fur. So be sure to wipe down your dog or your cat, and that should help things quite a bit.
Okay, Dr. Jorge, thanks for being with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
How about this story? A record number of women have filed to run for the House of Representatives in the 2018 midterm elections. So far, 324 women have filed for candidacy across both major parties, breaking the previous record of 298 that was set in 2012. And the Center for American Women and Politics at Rutgers University estimates as many as 140 more women are likely to file as more states' deadlines approach in the coming months. About 75% of the women are running as Democrats, with many saying the Women's March and the Me Too movement pushed them to take the plunge and run for office. Similar concerns about workplace equality inspired the last big surge of women candidates in 1992, which was dubbed the Year of the Woman in the aftermath of Anita Hill's testimony against then Supreme Court nominee Clarence Thomas. Even though women make up slightly more than half of the U.S. population, they only hold about 20% of the seats in Congress. So these new numbers are a step in the right direction. A new study found that if you think you exercise more than your friends, it could be keeping you healthy. Scientists at Stanford University looked at mortality rates for more than 61,000 people. They found that people who thought they weren't doing as much exercise as their peers died younger than those who thought they were doing more exercise than their peers. And this held true even if the amount of exercise they did was the same. We all know that exercise makes you healthier and increases life expectancy. But this study suggests that what you think about your exercise makes a difference. So one big takeaway, exercise, but also take time to realize and appreciate what you're doing to live a healthy lifestyle. Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Tax returns are due by April 17th, and about 3/4 of Americans will get a refund this year. According to IRS data, the average return is said to be about $2,900. And how quickly will you get your money? 9 out of 10 people will usually get their money within 21 days of filing, as long as there were no errors found. Beyoncé made history when she became the first Black woman to headline Coachella this weekend, and she did not disappoint. During her 2-hour performance, she surprised fans by reuniting Destiny's Child on stage. Long live Beychella. And graduating from law school is hard enough as it is. So imagine doing it as a single mother of 5. Aisha Champs isn't just a super mom, she's an inspiration. The 33-year-old Houston resident will graduate magna cum laude from Texas Southern University's Thurgood Marshall School of Law on May 11th. Champs says her kids, ages 5 to 14, were by her side the entire way through school, quizzing her with flashcards and even playing the part of a mock jury. She celebrated with a graduation photo that includes all of her children holding signs with phrases like, "I helped," "Me too," and "We did it." Aisha's sign says, "I did it." It hasn't been an easy road for Champs. In 2009, the father of 2 of her children died of cancer. She lost everything in a house fire, she lost her job, and her mother suffered a stroke. But through the help of her church, she got motivated to go to law school and is now graduating in the top 15% of her class. Champs says she's also thankful to the school, who allowed her to bring her kids to class at times when she had no one to care for them. Top 30, we'll be right back. In today's Hometown Stories from Fox 32 Chicago, Carolyn Leonard and Monica Black want to help female entrepreneurs in Chicago with their investment firm, Diamond Angels. They're looking for contributions of $1,000 or more from 1,920 women, 1920 being the year women were granted the right to vote. Those who make contributions will be connected with other female entrepreneurs and female-focused investors, providing a mentoring opportunity. And the money invested will create a perpetual fund financing 20 female-led startups in the Chicago area. Our next story from Fox 13 Tampa Bay. A community project in Tampa is hoping to promote literacy with dream boxes. Everyone is invited to take books from the wooden mini libraries and then return them when done.
Residents are getting an opportunity to read and to learn how to read, and through these dream boxes, they're doing just that.
So far, the Rotary Club of Tampa has built 4 dream boxes and has plans to add another 10. Our final story from Fox 10 Phoenix. SRP provides Phoenix with nearly all of its water and power. And sometimes trees under the power lines have to be removed so that power can be delivered safely. So this year, SRP and the city of Phoenix started the Right Tree, Right Place program. For every tree removed, 3 times as many will be planted in areas that are not fire hazards. Recently, 1,200 trees within Phoenix parks and schools were replanted, helping the environment while keeping the community safe. Welcome back. A 90s classic is coming to life on stage. Coco Dominguez from Fox 26 in Houston goes behind the scenes of one of the hottest tickets in town. Coco, I heard you were hanging out with the cast just moments before they took the stage.
Hi, Kristen. That's right. The actress is playing in the stage adaptation of Set It Off made some time for me right before their moments in the lights. Set It Off was an action movie released in 1996. It was the story of 4 friends who made the risky decision to leave their dead-end jobs to rob banks. The film starred big names like Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Vivica A. Fox. The film's return to the spotlight also has some star power. Atlanta rapper DeBrat and former Destiny's Child member LaToya Luckett are on the bill, as well as Demetria McKinney and Disney star Kyla Pratt. The emotional tale of women struggling to make ends meet is being called one of the greatest plays ever seen on the urban theater market. Set It Off is touring the country and many shows are already sold out, so don't wait if you're interested in checking it out. Back to you, Kristen.
I love the movie. I can't wait to see the show. Thanks, Coco. You know, on most cruise lines, tips are automatic. And guess what? They're getting more expensive. This month, Norwegian Cruise Line raised its automatic gratuity for guests staying in standard cabins from $13.99 to $14.50 per person per day. The fee has gone up about 21% since 2015. The company also began calling it a service charge instead of an automatic gratuity. Norwegian follows other cruise lines. Earlier this year, both Royal Caribbean International and Celebrity Cruises also raised automatic tips to $14.50 a day. A family of 4 on a week-long cruise will now pay more than $400 in service fees. In addition, most lines add an automatic 18% to all bar bills. The fees are often presented as a convenience. Passengers don't have to reach for their wallet every time they get food or drinks. But some travelers want to know what happens if they don't think the service they received deserved that tip. Royal Caribbean says passengers can go to guest services to request their daily amount be modified. Most other lines do the same thing. Travel experts say that when one company raises fees, others follow soon after. All right, here's a story for all you tennis fans out there. Players at this year's U.S. Open will have to make their serves a little quicker. For the first time ever, athletes at the tournament will be on a 25-second serve clock to limit the time between the end of a point and the next serve. If players don't make their serve in 25 seconds, they'll face penalties. Those are still being worked out. It's an effort to speed up matches. A spokesman for the United States Tennis Association says pace of play is a major issue in sports today. We recognize that, and we want to be ahead of it. But the move could be unpopular with some top players. Rafael Nadal is famous for taking his time between points. Marin Cilic and Andy Murray have been cited for violations. After being penalized at last year's French Open, Nadal said, "If you want to play well, you have to let players breathe a little. We're not machines." If things go well at the U.S. Open, the serve clock could be introduced at other Grand Slam tournaments. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've all heard of a police canine unit, but how about a feline unit? The police department in Troy, Michigan said it would create the new unit if it got more than 10,000 Twitter followers. Well, the community responded, and here are some of the cute and cuddly kittens that were brought in to interview for the position. During the interview, they met with officers, got a tour of the building, and they were even able to show off their personality. All the cats were from local shelters, and in the end, this little cutie got the job. But she still doesn't have a name. Officers say local students can submit names for the kitten, and the winner will get a pizza party for their class with their school resource officer. No word if the new head of the feline unit will attend the party. Well, here's kind of a cool story. If you're ever frustrated with your boss, a new study says letting out your anger in a safe way can actually be a good thing. Cody Goff, host of the Curiosity podcast, joins us from his studio to tell us more. So, Cody, I hear this involves some very creative techniques.
That's right, Kristen. It could be good for office morale if employees can physically express frustration with those in management and leadership, without hurting anybody, of course. An international team of researchers gave volunteers a virtual voodoo doll online and asked them to label it with their boss's initials. The group that took revenge on a doll reported a much lower level of frustration than those that didn't have a chance to act out. One of the study's co-authors said you don't have to use a voodoo doll. Theoretically, you could decorate a dartboard with your boss's face, or make a piñata if you're really good with arts and crafts. Anything that serves as a symbolic act of retaliation. Lots of research has shown that other outlets like venting can actually make employees angrier. So if you're a boss, you might even want to provide something like this for your employees. And if you're not the boss, maybe keep the voodoo doll to yourself. Kristen?
Thanks, Cody. You can check out more on curiosity.com. All right, there's a Girl Scout troop in New York City made up entirely of homeless girls living in shelters, and they held their first ever cookie sale last week. The girls hoped to sell 6,000 boxes of cookies, but pulled off the incredible by more than doubling their goal in the first hour. With lines out the door, a new goal of 30,000 boxes was within reach for the troop. Meredith Mascara said, "The biggest impact that we see, and when you talk to the girls, you'll hear them say, is that they belong to something. They talk to other girls who may be in their same situation who feel alone, and they feel like they have a stronger sense of community and belonging overall." Troop 6000 was formed in March of 2017 by the Girl Scouts of Greater New York, and they hope to eventually include at least 500 girls and women from 15 shelters. What an inspiring story, and a great way to make these girls feel included despite their current living situation. I hope more cities do the same. Alrighty, playing on a professional sports team is a full-time job, and so is coaching a college basketball team. But WNBA player Lindsay Whalen is going to do both at the same time. The 35-year-old plays professionally with the Minnesota Lynx and just accepted the head coaching job at her alma mater, the University of Minnesota. She was a star player there from 2000 to 2004. Whalen led the Gophers to the team's only Final Four in history during her senior season. The school's athletic director said her experience in the WNBA will be valuable in coaching the team. The schedules for both sports make this possible. The WNBA season is May through September, and college hoops goes from November to April. There have been a handful of pro basketball players who have simultaneously played and coached their team, but something like this has never been done before. Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Some parents put a lot of thought into naming their baby and can draw inspiration from a family member or maybe someone who impacted their life. Or another option, naming your newborn after a piece of IKEA furniture. The parenting website Baby Center says millennials are turning to the home furnishing store for new name ideas. The website claims some of the Scandinavian names IKEA gives to its products can also work as unique baby names. Some examples are Tarva, Stig, Norna, and Mata. I'm guessing the names can be unisex. According to Baby Center, the most popular girl's name in 2017 was Sophia. For boys, it was Jackson. While they are unique, I'm not sure we'll see any of the IKEA names threaten to take over the top spot. And that's it for today's Top 30. Thanks for watching. Here's what's coming up on our next show. You've heard that sitting is bad for your body. Well, science now says it could be bad for your brain. And an adopted woman is reunited with her family after more than 50 years apart. Top 30 also covers more of the day's stories live on Facebook every day at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern. We'll see you next time here on Top 30.